Philosophy means love of wisdom, which is an unusual name for a field of academic inquiry. We don't call geology geophilia, the love of rocks. Love of wisdom explains philosophy's dubious reputation. Any fool can claim to love wisdom, and many do, which is why you might sound more credible saying you're chasing tail, money, or fame than saying you love wisdom. It sounds pretentious. Many quacks peddle their delusional theories as wisdom. Many self-proclaimed philosophers pretend that they're searching for wisdom when really they think they found it, the absolute truth revealed. They've seen the light and become Plato's philosopher kings, duty-bound to straighten out all the clueless people who disagree with them. These days, such philosopher kings claim to have taken the Matrix's red pill, which is a sure sign that they've taken the blue one. Sophology, or the study of wisdom, is a more accurate term, the study of what wisdom is. Never mind whether you love it or love yourself for claiming you love it. Still, there is something to loving wisdom, though not with abstract lip service. I'll explain. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. He's wrong. What, a camel's unexamined life is not worth living? Besides, while the examined life may be worth living, it's no picnic. Self-awareness can be as treacherous as waiting for a cancer diagnosis. What if you discover a fatal flaw? We introspect gingerly and selectively, walking on eggshells to avoid landmines that would undermine our confidence. Introspection is what makes the examined life no picnic. To really love wisdom, you have to be able to withstand self-doubt. That's not easy for any of us. Now, I'm a biosophologist, meaning I pursue a realistic natural history of wising up on the assumption that every biological adaptation is a kind of proto-wisdom, organisms responding wisely to changes in their environment, with apt changes in their behavior. Even plants, changing with the seasons, have a kind of proto-wisdom. They don't feel it or think about it. They have no power to examine their lives. Still, there's a kind of serenity prayer wisdom in their adaptive responsiveness. Their behavior accepts what they can't change. For example, in winter or droughts, they shed leaves. And they try to change what they can. For example, asserting branches for more sunlight or roots for more water. There's continuity from biological adaptive fittedness to human wisdom. A fine-tuning of the serenity prayer's serene acceptance and courageous assertion, meekly fitting in and mighty fitness to remain fitted to both changing and changeable environments. The seasons change, but so does the climate. Still, human wisdom is different from biological adaptation in important ways that help make sense of the love of wisdom as overcoming the love of self-certainty. Unlike other organisms, humans have language by which to speculate conceptually about what is not immediately present and may not even be real. Whereas animals only have to adapt to reality, humans have to adapt to reality and the world of our word-generated imaginations. It makes us very complicated beings. With language, we can idealize and notice where we fall short, which makes us feel anxious. To cope, we can self-idealize, though often by making other people anxious, since in the competition, one person's self-idealization is another person's self-doubt. Humans are more anxious and dissociating than any other species. I think of my biosophology research as trying to get as realistic as possible about us humans, including how unrealistic we have to be. It's hard to do well because self-idealizing, philosophizing is so easy. There's a joke that addresses this. A guy claims that his marriage works because he makes all the big decisions and his wife makes all the little ones. Asked for examples, he says she decides where he works, where they live, where the kids go to school, and how they spend their money, and he decides whether we have free will. Philosophizing is loads of fun without much consequence. If making the small decisions you spend your money wrong, you'll pay. If in making big decisions your philosophizing is unrealistic, you won't pay. You might even be rewarded, since philosophizing that sells best is the kind that frees people from self-doubt. Bertrand Russell defined philosophy as a peculiarly stubborn attempt to think clearly. Piet Hein wrote that a philosopher finds his true perfection knowing the follies of humankind by introspection. That's how the love of wisdom makes sense. It takes a peculiarly stubborn attempt to think clearly about reality. For us humans to get over the anxiety of an examined life without resorting to philosophizing to comfort ourselves. You gotta be able to prioritize what's realistic over what's self-reassuring. You gotta be able to tolerate second-guessing yourself, which is the harder alternative to second-guessing yourself, claiming you must be right because you've checked with yourself 3 times and each time you've said, "Yup, I agree with me." The philosopher Hume said truth emerges from disagreements amongst friends. That goes all the way back to Aristotle, who studied closely with Plato for 21 years and then felt perfectly free to disagree with him. Philosophy is both a disappointing lifestyle and its reward. The lifestyle is the quest for better wisdom, better fittedness to reality. It's the prayer in the Serenity Prayer, not to some know-it-all God, but just wanting to wise up in ways that surpass the natural human need for self-reassurance. Though we are tempted to disappear into our imaginations, reality will ruin us if we do. Reality tolerates only so much reckless self-affirmation, and humankind has about used up its allotment. We have to learn how to express our self-reassurance in fiction. Self-love is important, but get a room and don't let it go to your head. That's a more realistic way to exercise the human need to be unrealistic. Believe in nonfiction, relieve in fiction. To love wisdom is to hold no God higher than reality, not even oneself, and to pray to reality by trying to understand and fit it ever better, even if it makes us uncomfortable to have to face it.